Hey, good morning everybody. You may remember from a previous video that I was going to be doing some camping and talking about bringing you along with me. The camping trip was not exactly what I expected. I had reservations for my girlfriend and I to be on the west coast of Florida for a week at a really cool place. And guess who showed up? Hurricane Helene. We were in our chosen location for about 20-something hours, not quite 24, and we're evacuated. We had to kind of roll with the punches. That brings me to today's topic, expectations. I had big expectations. Having those expectations is not the problem that I see. I think the problem is not so much in having expectations as it is in how you deal with unfulfilled expectations. Because those expectations definitely were not fulfilled. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Unfulfilled expectations and how to deal with that. So I've been in meetings where the topic is expectations. Many times I hear that people talk about how we shouldn't have expectations and that expectations are a setup for disappointment and all of that sort of thing. And, I guess in some ways that may be true. But to me, now this is, my own experience, strength, and hope. To me, expectations are something that's expected of us. We have expectations. When you reach over to flip on a light switch, aren't you expecting the light to come on? Of course you are. When you put the key in the ignition, or nowadays push the start button on your car, you're expecting it to start up, correct? Yeah. And those are healthy expectations. I made reservations at Fort DeSoto for a week-long camping trip. I expected to be camping at Fort DeSoto. I don't see anything wrong with having those expectations. Now, when those expectations go unfulfilled, that's when there's a problem. So I can't change the outcome, but what I can change is how I react to it. How do I react when I reach over and flip on the light switch and the light doesn't come on? How do I react when I'm sitting in my car and I go to crank it up and the expectation goes unfulfilled? It doesn't start. How do I react to that? That's what I have power over. I can change the way that I react to that. So it's not so much the expectation as how I react to it being unfulfilled. Does that make sense? It does to me. Of course, please put something in the comment section about what you feel about expectations. Are they unhealthy to have expectations? I don't think so. I think expectations is something that we all have. And without expectations, there'd be no hopes, no dreams, no possibilities for what could happen tomorrow or later today or any of that. To me, expectations are healthy. What becomes unhealthy is when the expectation goes unfulfilled and I freak out or whatever. I don't have to freak out over unfulfilled expectations. In fact, sometimes what happens is even better than something that I expected to happen. Sometimes when your plan or your expectation doesn't work out, sometimes something even better happens. So how did the camping trip go? Well, I did have expectations. I had expectations of spending the entire week at Fort DeSoto, stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, going to the beach, enjoying the sun and the surf, floating around on a raft, cooking out, enjoying myself. Well, when that went unfulfilled and we were told to evacuate the next day after driving 3.5 hours, I have to say, I was a little upset. However, do I have to freak out over unfulfilled expectations? No, I don't. And in fact, sometimes what happens is even better than what I had planned or even expected. So what we did instead was we got back in the van, loaded up the camper, and headed back home again. Not home so much, but the east coast of Florida, the other side of the state where the hurricane was not coming. And we set up camp. I have to say there was a lot of rain and wind, even on the east coast of Florida. Don't worry, we didn't get any damage or anything like that. But it was rainy and windy and that sort of thing. That gave us an opportunity to get to know each other even better. Not only that, once the storm passed, it was as beautiful as you could ever imagine. And we still had a beach. We still had the paddle boards. We still had the kayak and the raft. We enjoyed ourselves. It turned out just as good, if not even better. Because at the end of the trip, we're closer to home. We didn't have that long drive. There's always something to be grateful for. You know, I come out here to the sunrise just about every morning. The sunrise isn't always as beautiful as it is today. And if I have expectations of it being a beautiful sunrise and it isn't, do I just, start crying over that and, moping around the rest of the day because the sunrise wasn't as pretty as I thought it should be? Come on. Even when it's gray and cloudy out here, it still has its own beauty. And it's up to me to look for that and find it. That's what gratitude's all about. Gratitude's not about, getting everything you want. It's wanting everything you have. That's what gratitude is. So as far as unfulfilled expectations, how often do your expectations get fulfilled? Not that often. So it's probably best to find a way to enjoy the outcome. Make the most of it. Enjoy life. Why would I want to ruin my camping trip over a hurricane? Of course that's unexpected. It's weather. So anyway, for those of you who were wondering, I'm safe and sound in Florida. We got through the hurricane just fine. It was on the West Coast, and I live on the East Coast. The funny thing is, I planned my vacation for the West Coast, and Helene showed up. But that's okay, because it turned out just fine. Had a wonderful time. And it's all about how I react to those unfulfilled expectations. So hopefully your expectations of this video didn't go unfulfilled. Hey, you guys have a great day. Live happy, joyous, and free, and especially sober. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.